because you're talking. It's just, and if you take the time, like All Things Considered or the Morning Edition, you can take the time to talk to somebody, you can inform them about something.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, like, the way television journalism has evolved, you know, it's flash a couple of pictures, write a couple of sentences.
For the entertainment.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it entertainment, but I'd call it exploitive.
The thing is,
It's fast.
It's flash.
yeah, and it's pretty effective. I mean, you can talk. I have a good example of that. Last year there were really horrible rainstorms and huge waves that destroyed tons of stuff on the coast. I read about it, I heard about it, but until I saw the pictures, the reality of it really did not hit me at all. I mean, seeing a picture, seeing an enormous wave is much more real than hearing about 6-foot waves or reading about 6-foot waves. You know, you see them pounding, and it's, I mean, the reason why TV had to be so short is because when you see something and you hear something, it really hits you very, very quickly and very dramatically. I don't know, I think they're taking it too far. I think
Right, yeah. Well, that's the thing that's nice about Channel 2's news, is that, I mean, like, if the roads are getting washed away down in, down by Redwood.
Big Sur?
Yeah, Big Sur, right. I mean, they'll spend, Channel 2 is the only place that I know that'll spend 3 and 4 minutes on a story. I mean, that's unheard of.
Of course, they have an hour's worth to work with, too.
So does every
When you think
KGO
about it,
and...
I mean, talk about long newscasts. In LA, Channel 4, they have a 3-hour newscast. Talk about dog stories. I mean, how can you fill 3 hours? All the local stations, no matter how long the 5 o'clock it is, they have an 11 o'clock newscast also. And usually their 5 or 6 o'clock newscasts are an hour long.
Hour and a half.
Some, not all.
No.
Name one that is.
Channel 5 goes from 5 until 7.
Is this no, Channel 5 goes from 6 until 7. Channel 4 goes from 5 until 6. I don't know what Channel 7 is.
Channel 5 goes from 5 until 7.
I watch Channel 5. It does not.
It doesn't start at 5.
It starts at 6. Channel 4 does.
Oh, okay.
Channel 4 goes from 5 until 6.
What's Channel 7?
Is it?
Not it is. It is. He also has classical strains during space scenes. That's not Star Wars.
But anyway, yeah, I really find television news obnoxious, and there's, I just don't like it.
Okay. I find it insulting to my intelligence.
I mean, like, the thing is, compare any sports thing that you see on whatever, regardless of how good the sports coverage is, on a newscast, and then compare it with even a crappy sports department like the Chronicle, and it doesn't compare. The Chronicle is infinitely better. And then, if you try and compare that with Sports Illustrated, there is no comparison. They just have it hands down. Sports Illustrated is by far and away the best. That's one of the best magazines in the world, regardless of if it was sports or not. I'm sure it is.
I don't know about that.
I can say it's well written, well edited. They have the best photographers in the world.
True. And cover some of the most ludicrous things.
It doesn't matter. But they
for a very
cover
narrow
the
focus magazine, it's very good.
No, I think Sports Illustrated is probably one of the best 4 or 5 magazines in the country.
Okay, let's go with Bill.
No, seriously, name 4 of the magazines.
Mad Magazine.
Time.
No, Geo? Have you read Geo?
Newsweek.
I've read
Geo runs articles by Ronald Reagan's son. Yes, it does.
Now, what are you thinking of?
Geo. The one, G-E-O. Right. The one that has Tom Wolfe on the cover this month with Ronald Reagan's son as the author.
Okay, let me ask you guys one last question. And then we'll conclude this interview.
Good.
I don't know. I'll start with Betsy. Betsy,
Yeah.
what have you learned from KALX News?
How many hours do you have? I've learned a lot. other people. I've learned a lot about my community. I've learned a lot about producing a broadcast. I've learned a lot about, it's like the est of learning experiences. It's true. It is. You learn everything.
Goddamn, I'll take that. Bill Davis.
Well, I mean, in terms of technical things, I've learned innumerable things about how to make recordings, sound, how to manipulate sound. Learned a lot about reporting, just how you would handle the story from a radio point of view. Learned a lot about how to write, seriously how to write for the ear, which I think is an important thing to know. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about people in general. I've always been sort of attracted to sort of strange groups of individuals who are also, kind of semi-unpopular. That's kind of what water polo. All water polo players are unpopular at one time in their lives. And you look at KALX. KALX is anathema to a large percentage of the population, and then the radio news is in KALX is anathema to a large group of the people who work in KALX, and somehow I find a home there. So I guess I sort of learned something about myself too. But you learn a lot about the people who are attracted to that sort of environment.
So you're learning about fringe.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the fringe, because hardly any of us qualify.
The non-standard?
The people who walk among the standards but are really much more interested in the fringe. I guess that's people who look normal but really aren't. is essentially what you learn, or the types of people that you learn about in KALX.
It's one of my favorite scenes in this movie. Well, Arnold, disregarding 2001, it's hard to do. I've seen the movie like 8 or 9 times. Me too. Good. Only about 4 or 5. Did they show it every year back when you were like 4th, 5th, 6th grade? You mean on TV? No. Just in school. No. School, the whole school.
Your school?
I wasn't in 4th, 5th, 6th grade when 2001 came out. I feel
you're not that fucking old. I saw it when it came out. My parents took me to see it. You probably don't want this on
swaddling clothes.
Your parents took you were 7 years old. 1969, yeah. They showed it in school. And my brother and sister who were younger than me. Wow, I'm impressed. You must have nifty parents. Yeah, my parents aren't as old as most people's parents. Really?
Yeah.
I probably don't want this on tape, so. Beep. What was the question? What have I learned the most? Yeah. What did you learn from KALX? Everything you wanted to know about radio, but we're afraid to ask. I didn't have the slightest clue about anything about doing radio, as far as radio news goes, before I came to KALX. Now I know everything.
I don't think that's it.
I know a lot of things. I've copywritten, I've reported, I've produced, I've anchored, what else is there?
Engineered.
I've engineered as part of producing, but I've engineered. I do a lot of other things for KALX as well. You've auditioned like many other people for news director. True, but...
Are you going to ask him about how he felt when you didn't get news director?
We'll get to that later. No? But, are you depressed that I want to ask you about that? No. Good, see? Yes, Arnold?
Actually, yes, I am.
I didn't have a clue as to what radio involved, other than our little bit in high school of bugging another in high school. What? We bugged another high school using radio frequencies.
Great, keep that off the record too.
Yeah. Well, I don't care.
It was high school.
It was high school, yeah. No, I mean,
The statute of limitations has run out.
okay, well,
We'll take that.
I didn't have a clue as to what radio involved until I came to KALX. And now I know more than probably 90% of the population.
Or more. Easily more.
Let's go 99.9, man. All right, Laura.
Everything. I did not know anything about radio before I came to KALX. Thank you, Kevin.
You wondered why we
Writing.
We're putting names to those Bill Davis stories. Go ahead, Laura.
Writing for radio. I mean, everything that has to do with KALX, I had no experience at all. But even more than that, I was new. When I came to KALX, I'd only been here for maybe a couple months or so. Maybe a whole quarter. I finished a whole quarter, and I didn't know anything about the University of California. And that's kind of how I learned about the activities they had, the different things they had going on, the people who were in office, what the University of California was like, people's opinions, their ideas and things.
I remember the Dave Me show. I remember all that stuff.
So, kind of learned about Berkeley kind of vicariously through KALX.
Nito Jet.
I'm out of questions.
Do any of you have any
This is the last question we always
Concluding
ask
remarks.
when you're doing.
Yeah, do you have any concluding remarks? Is there anything that you'd like to add?
I would just like to say thank you to my mother and to my father.
And I will not take this award because the Indians are being mistreated.
And special thanks to my third grade teacher, Sister Susanna.
You went to Catholic school?
Hey, I did too.
So did I.
How about you,
Up
Bill?
until second grade.
Sorry, man, I went to
I went
Australia.
up to fifth grade.
Oh, it's all the same.
How long did you make it through Catholic schools?
12th grade.